I'm Janelle Nolan. I'm with the Bradford Library and I'm in charge of marketing and adult programming and the website. But I want to thank you for coming out tonight because the weather is so great and we never know. Sometimes great weather keeps people out of our building and sometimes great weather brings people in. And I'm so glad it worked in our favor tonight. And we have a treat for you. Everybody here knows Judy Brown from the Little Fabric Garden down on Main Street. And she has done 29 videos for us over the past 4 years for our Building Blocks virtual program that's on the library's YouTube channel. So we're so grateful that she's done that for us. And then when we discovered that this month is National Quilting Month, of course we turned to Judy and she said, I guess I could do a trunk show for you. So I jumped at that. And so Judy is going to be here tonight sharing with us all these different quilts and a non-quilting product, not bedspreads.
Yeah, not like bed quilts or anything, but there's some wall hangings and table warmers and stuff too.
So she has stories to share, so I'm going to hand it over to Judy.
Thank you. I always have stories. All right, well thank you all for coming, not that I don't know you. I'll see you tomorrow too, I'm sure. All right, so as you can see, I've got the quilts lined up here, and I'm just going to start over here, talk about them, hold them up, and then we're going to lay them on the table, so if you want to take a better look at them later, you can, or if you have any questions, we can do that. This first quilt that I'm going to show you it's called Crazy Eights. Now some of these I remember the names, but most I probably don't. This one is called Crazy Eights, and it's one of the very first ones that I did after I opened the shop. It just has the eight fat quarters, and follow the directions. But this one, I hand quilted it, and I will tell you that this is what I was hand quilting and working on the day that Whitney Houston passed away. I was sitting watching, I had the TV on, and I was doing this, and it came on over the TV that she had passed away. So that's how long ago I did this. And this fabric is Joe Morton's, most of it, and very, very Civil War. I like the dark stuff, I like the Civil War country look, and as you can see by looking here, the first few, that's exactly what they are. So, Crazy Eights. So, this next one is another Civil War themed, and I do not remember offhand what the name of this is. I remember that I worked on this when I had gone to Florida, and I got it together, and I came home, and I got it quilted, and but as you can see, I never put the binding on it. So it was at my house, and I was going to do a class at the store with it, of this. It was in a magazine, but that never did happen. And again, like it's Civil War fabric. Yep. And I do have brown fabric that I can put the binding on it. I'll have to try that. So I don't know if you can. Yeah.
It's pretty.
It's
like hammer.
Yeah, I really like the look of it.
Hand quilted?
No, this one was not hand quilted. In fact, right after I got my my little tiara, my quilting machine, this was one of the ones that I did on that, and and maybe that's why I didn't put the binding on it, because I wasn't happy with it. But yeah, but I do like it. Yeah, I like the Civil War look. All right. Oh, this is one that my friend Jane did. All right. So when I have the store, at the store, I can't possibly do all the quilts that are hanging in the store. So I have a couple of friends that I beg to do things for me, and this was done by one of them, and I'm going to give this to Janelle because you'll never see me. The great thing about this is, and I try to do this a lot, I try to find like the free patterns so that, you know, like if I do up kits, and which I do a lot, that I can keep the cost of the kits down. But this one was done, the pattern was done in batik fabrics, which is very bright. And I changed it to country because, you know, I just like the country look. And it really, really came out very nicely. So this was called Breezy Batiks. Unfortunately, we should change the name to Country Cousins or something like that. All right. So this next one is a pretty big one, and this was a block of the month. And we do block of the months down at the store, and every month the girls come in and they get a pattern for that month, and then they take it home and do that, and then at the end they put it all together. This was called house hunting, and I'm going to have all right, and again I use the colors, the country colors. This is one of my favorite blocks, you know, the log cabin, and it just worked out really well with the houses and stuff. I just love the look at it. Now, one of my friends, one of my customers, she decided she was going to make it half the size. She did a miniature of it, and for a long time we had them side by side, you know, like, and it was like half the size of it, wasn't it? It was half the size. So this was called house hunting.
That's really nice. It's not the one that
So this one, we really need to be careful. This still has pins in it, and it has, okay, this is the one that I took off the wall before I came down here. And again, this one I did not do either. It was one of those like breezy batik that I changed it to the country look. This was called like holiday foliage or something. This was a Christmas quilt. It was a Christmas pattern, and these were supposed to be poinsettias, but they got changed, and you know, I just changed the fabrics around. And you know, like there were kits for this, and I do have some people that are working on it, and you know, like saying bad words too. But yeah, so it's really very, very pretty. She did a nice job, but I did not do this one. The other gal that helps me out, she did this one. So there's that. Yeah, pins are at the bottom. So a few years ago, when the city of Bradford decided that they were going to redo Main Street, you know, and we had all the construction down Main Street, I happened to find that there was a sew-along that was called Main Street. And so I decided that, you know, like I was going to do we were going to do a sew-along down at the store. And this is what came of it. So this was Main Street. And now these were all like, they called this one thing, they called it, you know, really, one of them was supposed to be the library. I can't remember which one now, but it really didn't look like when we first started, we kind of thought it was going to be like different stores on Main Street, but it, you know, it wasn't that at all. She just gave them different names, but it was a fun project. And again, the Civil War country colors that I like. So, all right. And here comes the last Civil War country colored one. This one, I keep it home.
Oh,
this one I keep it home.
I'm not seeing.
And one of the gals that used to come to the store a long time ago, she's moved now, but she had the book. I think it was, this was good. Okay. And she had this book, and of course there we see the log cabin and you know the different things that are going in there. And it took me quite a while to do it because these were, you know, kind of small, and this was nasty. And it was just a lot of piecing. Things weren't going together quite right for a while. But when I got it finished and I got it quilted, it just came out so nice. I was just so pleased. So I did have it hanging at the store for a little bit, but it's at home now. It's not on a bed. I just have it to look at. So, all right. And I can't remember what the name of this one was.
Judy's house is a good name for them.
Judy's house, yeah. All right. So now the holidays are another fun time to do some different things. And usually holiday time, we don't like do really bed quilts or stuff. We usually do table runners or wall hangings or small projects. And this was another one from the gal who had the Main Street that she had a sew along, and it was a Halloween sew along, and you know, so you know you can change it. These were colors that I had in the store. You know, people change the look by using different colors or different fabrics, and sometimes we may have them side by side. One time we had two quilts, one on either side of the store. When you walked in, they were the same. It was the same pattern, but we used different fabrics, and nobody knew that they were the same quilt. So this was called Boo something or other, but it was a fun thing to do. I like to do some of the seasonal things, and you know, and I had this fabric on the back that kind of looked very spooky and wispy, so we stuck that on the back. All right, Halloween. Now, for people who know me, they know that I was a kindergarten, first grade teacher, and so I like things that are cutesy. You know, like for Halloween, I don't like the skull things, you know, that kind of stuff. I like the cutesy things. So Northcott Fabrics came out with this panel, and quite a few years now back, and it was just these cutesy little things, and I just absolutely love it. I pull this out every year at Halloween, and I just the faces are just so cute on it. So, and you can change these panels and do different things with them. I think this one I just put the borders around it because it was quick. Yeah, but they are so sweet.
That's darling. You've done this one? This one.
Okay, here's another Halloween one. Halloween seems to be pretty popular with a lot of the quilters, and this is just a wispy kind of witch's hat, and you know it came out very cute, and I don't know, I'm sure you can't see it, but the quilter, when I sent it to the long arm quilter, it is spider webs on the back. So,
I like the backs almost.
yeah, sometimes, you know, you really, especially if you put muslin on the back, you can really see the patterns better because they get lost on the front if it's a busy quilt. But this was really a popular one. So it's witches' hats or something like that. So another block of the month that we did, it was a holiday one, and it was another one of those free patterns. It was a free block of the month, and I thought, whoa, this is going to be great. I'm going to get this, and we're going to work on it, you know, it'll be fine. And I was working on it one of the years that we went down to Florida, I remember, and it was like, oh my gosh, it was a nightmare because the directions weren't right. I had to recalculate different things, and But when all said and done, it really came out cute, and when the girls got it, I had fixed the pattern, so it wasn't bad. This was supposed to have a big bow on it, but I'm not a real good embellisher, so my wreath is bowless.
Are those yo-yos?
Pardon?
Are those yo-yos on the?
Yes, they are yo-yos. They were fun to make. I had never done those before, but it was a lot of fun to do them. I can remember sitting on the floor doing it. I did embellish this. I lied. So, but it really came out cute. I hang this at home because it's it's not super big. So the next few are Christmas ones, all right, or winter ones. This is a winter block of the month, and it's, I can't remember, I think it's like wintry, I'm not sure. But anyway, this is applique, and of course the applique is that you take the fabric and you put it on, and then you blanket stitch or zigzag it. And on this one, I did do some embellishing with the help of some friends who helped me do that. But this came out really nice. We were real pleased with this. A lot of girls did it, and it was a lot of fun. However, like these snowflakes, we got those in, and they were already cut out, so that the girls didn't have to cut in. I thought they'd hang me if I gave them that one for them to, cut with small scissors. So yeah, that's a nice one. That was a couple of years ago. We did that. The skates were nice. Yeah. Another big Christmas one. Okay, so this was some kind of twirl, swirl, and like some people looked at it and they thought, oh, this is really hard. Well, it wasn't hard at all, because this was a Christmas jelly roll, and that they were 2.5-inch strips, and so it was already cut for me, so I didn't have to do anything but sew them together and then cut them this way. These were applique, and it didn't take long at all because they were big, like nice long stitches. This was the hardest thing to do, were the little peppermint things. But yeah, it was fun to do, and then this is one that I quilted, so I'm not turning it around so that you can see it, because I did it myself. And yeah. This next one is another Christmas one, and this pattern is called 4-patch stacked posy. I can't say that very quickly. And I will explain to you about this. Okay, so this quilt was all done out of this fabric. All right, so what you do is you find the repeat, and you cut 4 pieces and you stack them exactly the same, one on top of the other. And then you cut it into squares, and then you pick up those squares and then you arrange them around like a kaleidoscope. And you can turn them until you get one that you like. But all these different came from this fabric. Okay, so it's a fun project to do. It's like those, like when we were little, looking through one of those things and you kept turning it and all, the kaleidoscope stuff. So, yeah, that was a fun one to do too. Now this next one is my very favorite. It is applique and sewn, and pieced. It is called Gingerbread Village, and no one has ever wanted to get this. There isn't enough money that could be offered for this one. So this is Gingerbread Village, and this is the quilt shop, and it's got the quilts in the window, you know. It was just so much fun, and originally I wanted to do this as a block of the month, but when I started working on it, I thought it was going to be too hard for me to get the kits made up, so I just did big kits of it. Now, when I was talking about the embellishments before and how I don't like to do it, are you okay back there?
I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm feeling the burn.
So this guy is supposed to be a skater, but I didn't put his skates on because they were little paper clips, and I couldn't be bothered. And there's a couple other things too, but yeah, I just really like this one. Yeah, I'm working on it.
I know.
Next time maybe I'll have the Easter one done. But, yeah, so that's called Gingerbread Village. So this next one, still, I took this one off the wall also. This is something that was made from one of the panels. You know, there's different things that you can do with panels, and originally we did another one very similar to this a few years back, and then this one came in, and this panel came in, and we just I cut it just like, well, in fact, it was Jane that put the other one together, and I put this together. So with the panels, before, you know, like when panels first started coming out, people just kind of put borders around them. But now there are different patterns, and different people are trying different things with them to make them look a little different. So this came out pretty cool. I kind of like the way. And plus, around here, we get a lot of people that like the outdoorsy kinds of things. So that's that. I can't remember what the name of the pattern was, but there it is on the still is.
Oh yeah.
This is.
That was a hand one too, wasn't it?
All right. Yep, another one came off the wall. Yeah. All right, so this one, a lot of people look at this and they think, oh, this is really hard. And when I was getting ready to do this, I wasn't sure if I had time, and so I asked one of the gals if she would do it for me, and she said, no, I'm not doing it. It's got curves. I'm not doing it. So I ended up doing it myself, and people are, they worry about this, and if you look into any of the, like the Underground Railroad quilts and stuff, one of the ones that's in there is Drunkard's Path, and there's a whole bunch of these, one going this way, one going this way, but I put this together, and it came out really nice, and the curves are not that hard to do. It's because it's like on the bias and it like stretches, so you just have to put a lot of pins in it to get around it, but it really was no problem at all. So it scares a lot of people, but that's what you like about quilting is people will look at things and they'll say, oh my gosh, how did you do that? But if you break it down, it's, you got little pieces, but you just build on those pieces. It's like a puzzle putting it together. All right, so there's that one. So this was just kind of a happy one that I found. It was in some of my things at home, and in fact I used this as a because it's got the strawberries and stuff in it. I've used it as a table, tablecloth. And a lot of people do that. In fact, some people, they won't get them like all quilted, they won't put the batting and stuff in them, but then they end up, putting them as a tablecloth. And this came from a kit that, it came from one of my fabric companies. It was in a little box, and so I did this one up, and it was quite a long time ago. Did this up and the box, and and had the boxes too for sale. But it came out, nice. It looks kind of summery, with strawberry season will be coming up here in a couple months. It'll be on my dining room table. So. So, here's another one of my favorites. This is called Vintage Farmer.
Oh, that's the Christmas
One, okay, and it was from a book, and it had all these different all these different blocks. You could do them in either 6 or 12 inches, and I chose to do the smaller ones because I do like to work with the small things. It was a lot of fun to do them because each one is different. And she did come out with another book, and she came out with a Christmas book also. And I got all the middle part done on this, and I just could not figure out what I was going to put as the border, the outside border. Nothing I had just was working for me. And then one day I got an order in, and I opened up the box, and here was this farm fabric. In fact, I think I might have this upside down, but anyway, it's this farm fabric, and it just went perfectly with it. So this is really Vintage Farmer, the very first one. I love it. I just love the colors on it, and it's not even dark or Civil War or country. It's kind of country. It's country, but it's not the dark country.
rock and roll.
Another one off the wall. So
Oh, I like that.
this fabric had come in, and I just thought it was, kind of stylish or something. I'm not quite sure the word for it. And so I started looking around for patterns, and this was a pattern for a 94 by 94 bed. It was a bed quilt. And it was like, well, I definitely didn't want to do that. I didn't have the time to do that. So I cut it down, and this is what it came out like.
That looks
And
nice.
it's really like it. I like the tan and the blacks, and it looks really nice. So it's a nice wall.
Yeah, that's Nan's quilt. Here comes your snowman.
So this next one is one that was paper pieced. And so for those people that, don't know about paper piecing, you sew on the paper and you hope you get it right. Because then you have to turn it over to the other side to see if you did get it right, if you have any gaps or whatever. But this is paper pieced, and these were like big. These were big paper pieces, so it was easy and they were straight. You didn't have to worry too much about, like the angles. It gets kind of tricky when you get into these points and you're not sure which way to put the fabric behind it and stuff. But anyway, it wasn't all that bad. The houses took the most time, and I just love the way he came out. This was some fabric that had just come in, and so I thought, okay, we're going to use that. Now, one nice thing was that in with the pattern came the button for the nose, so that worked out really well because it probably wouldn't have looked quite so nice if I had done it. And I did embellish the eyes. This one does have eyes. Yeah. So in fact, this pattern was designed by one of my fabric reps, and she did this one and a couple other ones that I've done, which were paper piece too. So this is Midnight Snowman, something like that, but it was fun. It was fun. So this next one is, it's just this cute little wall hanging, I guess you could use a little lap quilt. And so the story on this was that I had belonged to a quilt guild, and like every time we went, you brought like a fat quarter, and so you put it in this pile, and then you like there was a drawing. And so one month I won the drawing. Now I really didn't need any more fat quarters because I had a whole store full of them. But I won a stack of fat quarters about like this, and I took them home. And as you can see, they are not Civil War and they are not country. And so they were like sitting in a little tub. And so one day I saw this pattern. It was in a magazine. And I thought, I wonder if I could do that. So I decided I was going to use those that I had won at the guild meeting to put this together. And it was kind of a new technique when I did this, because you had to sew part of the seam and you had to leave it open to get that pinwheel look, this different pinwheel look. So when I was done and I had the whole middle part done, it was like I had all this fabric left over from these fat quarters, so I decided, okay, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to, use them all up. So that's what I did. Just kind of a fun little story and a fun quilt. So here is another outdoorsy, and it was done with a panel. And this fabric company, Northcott Fabric, they come out with a lot of beautiful outdoorsy things. Maybe I should get that off of there. And so I had been looking through this magazine and I saw this, but I could not find a pattern for it. I looked and I looked and I couldn't find a pattern for it. So, I figured, well, I've been doing this long enough. I think I can figure out what to do. So I figured out how to do this and got this together. But again, you can see by adding some different things to it, it changes the whole look. It, makes it look so much nicer than just a couple of borders, plain fabric borders around the outside. Yeah, so this was by Northcott Fabrics. So if you like outdoorsy kinds of stuff, they have a lot of deer, moose, whatever, beautiful stuff, watercolors, beautiful. Yes. I don't know. So what's left here are just some holiday things. I'm just going to pull these down here. So, just some small holiday things that, here's some Easter things. Unfortunately, this bunny can't see because somebody didn't put the embellishment. But so these were monthly things that were done, So this was a favorite, and people really like this one too. So I just kind of brought in the different things. All right. Thank you. another one. Here's two more, as a matter of fact, from that book. I always like this one. This one's sweet. I love the stockings on this one. Yeah, he's just very cute. I love that fabric with the stockings and the mittens. Oh, yeah. So these are the smaller things. You know, like when people first start doing them, they're looking to make quilts, you know, bigger quilts and stuff. But as you do it for a while, it's like, all right, I've only got so many beds. I've given these to so many people. So, you know, you start working on smaller stuff that maybe you can decorate the house with, or, you know, give as gifts and stuff. So, these were a couple of those. This next one is done on my embroidery machine. All right, I've got an embroidery machine, and again, back to my teaching of first grade, you get these cutesy little things, and so these were just blocks, and I just kind of put it together as a wall hanging. So this is all embroidered. You can take a look at it. Yeah, this was fun, and it was one of the first ones that I did on my embroidery machine, and I was pretty proud of when I got it done, and there really weren't any mistakes on this. There was one mistake, I had to throw the whole thing out, but it really came out pretty nice. So, and yeah, here are some more holiday things.
There's a bunny.
Yeah, here's some. Here's just a couple
Blind
more.
bunnies?
Yeah, a couple more money things.
They have eyes.
Yeah, these guys can see. This was called Bunny Bloom, I'm pretty sure. He was cute. And sometimes when I do these appliques, I like to sandwich the whole thing, and then I end up appliquing it and quilting it at the same time. So then, I don't have to go back and do things twice. So that's that. I love miniatures. I love small things. I showed you I like to do those 6-inch things. So here's a couple of small ones. All right. This was taken from, it was Temecula Quilt Company. She had a sew-along, and I got a block every Friday or whatever. And they were just, they were little buggers, and the ones that I really, really like are the ones that have the small ones inside the small ones. There's some really teeny tiny ones in there, and that was fun to do. Really, really like that one. And I did these blocks, and I put them in a little, little tub, just with a little lid on it, and I kept them there for a long time, and then one day I was just like, okay, do something with them, and so there it is. Here's a little miniature. It's just a little miniature. This was from scraps from, I think it was from that house hunting block of the month that we did. And these were scraps that I had at home. They were all different sizes, so I started sewing them together, and then one of my customers had come in and showed me with a bigger block how to do this, to get this look, and so I tried it with the little ones, and it came out so cute. So it makes a nice little lamp to put the lamp on. All right, and so my last one is one of my very favorite things. A few years ago, well, quite a few years ago, I did the row by row that they, every store was supposed to do a row, and then you would go to all these different stores and you would get the patterns for all these rows and put them together to make a quilt. Well, the one year it was called Home Sweet Home. And since Bradford has been my home sweet home my whole life, except for the 4 years I was away at school, this was my row. So this first block up here is called the Bradford block. And everything was done in red and black because Bradford high colors are red and black. All right? So then, of course, Bradford's known for their oil. So that came. And then, it's not there anymore, but down on one of the big refinery, down at the refinery, this was painted on the side of it, Bradford, Cool Town, Warm Heart is what the motto was. So that's where that came from. And then, of course, we have our Zippo lighters and our case knives. So this was fun, and I just decided I was going to quilt it up, and I hang it down at the store, I move it around. Sometimes I put it in the window, but yeah. So, home sweet home. Hey, thanks for coming. Anybody have any questions?
Any questions?
Anybody have any questions?
You quilted that. You quilted that one?
No, Barb quilted this one.
On a sheet?
Barb quilted this one on a machine. Yeah, this was probably when you hadn't been quilting very long. Yeah, Barb quilted this one. So.